Hello everyone, I am Undead Horde here on YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we are discussing YouTube. Yay. More or less, we're discussing the thoughts of becoming a YouTuber and maybe some of the steps that you should take before becoming one, or like a direction that you could go in to kind of help start off your journey. And so this all started for a couple of reasons, right? The other day I'd posted a video talking about my goals, and my next goal on YouTube is to help help other people become YouTubers. I want to get 5 people together, help them grow to become YouTubers, and we all make it to 1,000 subs together, and kind of creating like this idea of, in a way, the next generation of raid content creators, right? As some people have put it. And so, but there is some type of realization that I should have had while making that video that I didn't have, and I feel stupid by that. And that's the realization of people may want to do it, but they may not know where to start, and so they may feel uncomfortable coming forward and stuff like that if they don't actually maybe have an idea or a direction that they want to go in and whatever else. And there just needs to be like a general kind of baseline to kind of help them out. And so I'm hoping that this video can kind of help give that to people, give them that sense of possible direction or into like where to begin. And I know I'm not like the best person to be giving this type of advice out with my little ass channel, but I do think that I have some type of knowledge in the area that I could share and that could be useful potentially. So where do you begin? I think the very beginning is do you want to do this? Like, do you actually want to do this and have that mental thought process, have the entire mental thought process of it's going to be hard. There is going to be difficult periods of time in which you're expecting to see growth and you're not going to see growth. And things are going to become stagnant. And do you have the mental fortitude to go through that? Are you willing to be like, I know it's going to be a down period, but I know I can get through this if I just keep pushing and trying out different things or whatever, right? There's going to be bad periods when doing this. I've experienced it. That's why I've quit a lot of my channels. And that's also why I've had the most amount of motivation that I've ever had going into this channel. And why I feel like this channel has had the level of success that it has had is because I've had those thought processes in the past, but now I've put that off the side knowing what I need to do. So that's first and foremost in my mind is step one. You need to have the thought process of, are you willing to go through the hard times that YouTube could give you? And you also need to think of, if you do grow, like, you need to understand, like, I like to live life in a kind of a general basis of what if I do grow, what happens? How am I going to feel? How does this potentially change things and whatever else? And how does this make it harder on my life and for my family's lives and stuff like that? Is it going to make it harder at all? Because it may not. You know, I work a full-time job. I could be moving up into a higher position by the time I get to this big growth, and that higher position is going to take a lot of my priority. And is that going to take away from the YouTube channel? And am I going to be willing to go through the stress of trying to figure everything out and things like that? So there's like a lot in the mental game first that has to be thought about. So you've managed to make it through the mental game. You really want to do it. What's the next step from there? The next step from there is planning. It's simple planning. Planning out a name, a theme, the content you want to make, the first couple of videos that you want to upload, how you're going to edit your videos. Like, there's all of this type of like background work that has to go into it first. What program do you want to use to edit your thumbnails? What type of, and I've already said what type of content you're going to make. So you got to like figure out all these specifics first before you can like settle down. Like my channel was made probably 2 days prior or something like that to me actually uploading my first video. If you really want to get super technical about it, there is the what is his name from Game Theory, Matt Pat. There is what Matt Pat talks about and has talked about before about starting a YouTube channel, and it's having videos already made. He said have videos already made, have like, I think he said like 5 of them or something made and posted, and have them all go live together. So that way when somebody watches the video, they are going to keep staying on the channel and watching another video, and it gives your channel better growth, or potentially it gives people more content to watch, which would keep them on your channel, which then could keep them wanting to come back in the future for more content. I would do that. I would probably say, and I'm not really a YouTuber to know this for sure, I would realistically say that's going to be a much better option for those who plan on making content X amount of time apart from each other. And I mean like a few days. I'm going to post every X day, 3 days. I'll have a video go up on Mondays. I'll have a video go up on Thursdays. I'll have a video go up on, I don't know, whatever, right? Or every 2 days or whatever. Or you set a schedule and it's like you're going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's it. And if that's what you're going to do, then yes, you do need to have content made, already posted on the channel. Maybe not necessarily 5 videos, but like you could do like 2 or 3. Just something that kind of keeps people interested, watching, gives them a better taste of your content and stuff like that. And then it gives you room to create more videos. And honestly, at that point in time, I'd probably already have at least one other video recorded. So that you just have to work on the editing process and getting it posted. And it kind of gives you that bit of wiggle room and stuff like that that you need. So, but that's like, again, but if you go like the daily videos route that I didn't do that, obviously, because I was already going to end up making a bunch of videos and stuff like that. And so in my general hope was people are going to see the one, hopefully there's going to be enough interest in the one, and that with the growth of that as well, people still going to be drip feeding into watching that video by the next day or two, that by the time I've got another video posted, that'll kind of give them that one to watch and kind of snowball from there. Like I said too, when it talks about like the game, obviously most people watching this, it's going to be like the hope is Raid Shadow Legends. I guess you wouldn't have to do raid content. It'd be odd knowing everything going on, but I guess you wouldn't have to do necessarily raid content if you didn't want to be a part of this. But like, say if your content is going to be raid, well, what type of raid content are you going to do? Are you going to do like how I started? Are you, and people who are part of my community, are you going to do your own blank only faction videos? Are you going to do a free-to-play account? Are you going to do whatever? Like, you need to set up the type of challenge you want to do. Another big thing too that I did, and I know this is no script, very rambly, very off the top of my head, I do apologize. One of the key things that I did before even crafting the YouTube channel was I watched the content about what I wanted to make. I watched a lot of Ash's videos. I watched a lot of Cobb's videos. I watched them for like a month. Almost every single day, I had at least one video on that I watched of either one of them. It just gave me a good chance at understanding the things that they talk about, about how their videos are set up, their editing style, if I ever wanted to kind of match it, their thumbnails, like paying attention to their thumbnails, how their thumbnails are made, if I ever wanted to match that type of stuff. There's a lot that kind of goes into it in the mental background. There really is. And that is a big part of it, is understanding the niche that you're in and how other people are taking approach to it. And are you going to match up in line with what they're doing? Or are you going to try and create your own avenue in that content? And how is that going to look like? In theory, and this could be a wild idea, you could do like Raid Shadow Legends content in the background, but you could be like a story time channel. You could. It'd be wild. But like, that could be the route of that could be the chaotic route of Raid Shadow content you want to do, in which you're really more like a story time channel, but all of your background gameplay is like Raid Shadow Legends related, and it's like whatever. It could be like a free-to-play account that you have running in the background, but you don't really talk about it much. You're just telling story times. Like, this is a wild niche. It could be a whole new way to look at Raid. If it would really be suitable for those who like to watch the content, but maybe don't want to hear people talk about the content. And so, I guess, look at me convincing myself like this is a good idea. So that's, I'm digressing from that point a little bit here. It's becoming a YouTuber is all about understanding. It's understanding the mental of it. It's understanding the genre that you want to go into. It's understanding how you personally want to approach that content. Once you have that all figured out, the rest of it should become easier. I get there's going to be concerns about things like, well, how do I talk in front of a camera? I'm bad at it. I'm bad. And I'm still gaining subscribers. Like, you can clearly look at other channels like Ash and like Cobb, and I think they do a much better job at talking and articulating their points and things like that than what I do. And yet I'm still gaining subscribers, because there's room for growth. The biggest part of YouTube is personality. You could watch content that is very underdeveloped. No, I don't want to say underdeveloped, but is not as high production as like Mr. Beast or whoever, right? It might not be as high production, but if you have a phenomenal personality, a lot of times that could be pushed off into the background. Like, the high production value can be kind of pushed off in the background because you're somebody that people's interested for you. And like, that's kind of the point, right? When you build a community on YouTube, you don't want it to be based off of strictly how produced your content is and that type of face value. You really want it to be people are coming in because they want to watch you. They want to see you grow. They want to see you succeed and whatever else, and they want to support that. And when you have people come in who want to support you, it gives you time to develop your content into a more flushed out, produced version. But you can go through that time period of having less than stellar content, and it's still meaning something to people because it's you that they're really caring to listen to or to watch. Your content is kind of secondary to that. I don't really want this video to keep going on too much longer. I'm already at about 15 minutes. and I feel like I could end up losing myself here a little bit, and I don't want to do that either. I hope this was helpful in any way, shape, or form. If anybody genuinely has any questions at all about this, then let me know, and I will do the best that I can to ease people's minds of it and stuff like that. Like, I want to be there to help people if this is what they want to do in the best way that I can do it. And I hope that there's some information, as much as it was rambling and chaotic as it was. I hope there's some information that people can extract from this and be able to apply to themselves if this is what they want to do. Everything in YouTube is a learning curve. You are going to stumble at the beginning. You need to accept that. As you start to accept that and realize that there's going to be flaws, there's going to be issues, there's going to be a learning curve, then you can actually start to generally taking this seriously enough to be like, well, then how do I move on? You know, and Mr. Beast has talked about this before, and that's going to be my last thought. There was a video that Mr. Beast had made, and it was the idea of, like, your first 99 videos is going to be crap. And what you need to do is you need to evaluate each video as you make it and learn how to change one thing and to make it better. So, like, for me, it could be something as simple as my first video, I said a lot, or I said like a lot. And these are generally not accepted as like the best type of phrases and things to use, like words and sounds to use when making content. You want to really feel like you're talking and articulating and not having these weird like break points or whatever. And so I might have a collective total of like 20 ums and likes, together inside of a video. And maybe then by next video, I want that to drop down to only 18. And I want that to drop down by 16 in the next video and slowly go down, in which then the video sounds a little bit better. I articulate myself a little bit better and whatever else. Or it could be like sound quality. Maybe sound quality doesn't sound great in your first video. And so then the focus becomes, well, how do I make the sound quality better? And that becomes your new focus. And it's just these little things. You have to be willing to critique yourself and realize that what you're doing is not necessarily a bad thing. There's going to be growth in it. You need to critique yourself, but use that critiques as a way to push yourself forward and not to beat yourself up and push you back. I struggle so much with self-confidence issues, with image issues, with decision, like, just everything, right? I'm constantly second guessing things that I'm doing on YouTube, and like I might record a video like this 7, 8, 9, 10 times before I'm like, this is the one. If it comes across as too long, then I might redo it to lessen it by like 5 or 10 minutes of runtime and things like that. And like these are things that it's like it's okay to have, because there is some benefit to it. It keeps you self-aware, but at the same time, you don't want to let it to control you. And that's, I feel like a lot of times the fear about people starting off doing YouTube is more or less the fear of like, not necessarily the failure, but the self-confidence of being able to do it and trying to find that within themselves first and then kind of moving on. So, so if I really were to tweak my very first thing that I said, I would say the very first thing you have to do is find are you self-confident enough in yourself to do this? Can you believe in yourself that you are going to grow, that you can learn new things, learn how to make better content? Can you trust yourself to do that? Can you put the confidence in yourself to do that? Because if you can't do that, then you really can't do the rest of it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry this video was so long. Again, I really hope it was helpful to someone. and I will see you guys in another video soon. Peace.